Good morning, everybody. It's Cowboy here, and we're live. We're live. It's 8:30 a.m. EST, and we are going to jump into the charts. Just a quick reminder, everybody out there, all you traders, tomorrow is the CPI. That means that it's a very busy, well, let's just say that right before the CPI tends to be pretty slow, right? The market won't have a lot of volatility, most likely. So, long story short, the CPI is either the biggest or second biggest news event out there in markets right now, the US CPI, because this is what is going to be part of the determination as to what happens to interest rates. And of course, interest rates right now are the big ticket. Interest rates are where it's at when it comes to, where the market's going to go next. If money is expensive, then markets will not go up or they'll go up more slowly. If money is cheap, markets will go up more quickly. Now, it does seem that hiking the rates has not hindered markets from going up, right? So, just the same, they've been talking about cutting rates for quite some time, and there's a lot of scuttlebutt that they're going to cut rates this month in September. It's been kind of a big talk. I know the last FOMC, I believe, Jerome Powell, who is the decision maker on that, was saying that it's time to consider that kind of a thing. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to do it. And if they see that inflation is too hot, then they're probably not going to cut the rates, because hiking the rates in the first place was all about controlling inflation. So when that information comes out, the market's going to have a little bit more of an idea of what's going to happen in the following weeks, right? Whenever the FOMC happens. So let's look at the calendar for that. We have tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. EST, core CPI, CPI, all the CPI data comes out. And if these numbers are too far away from the estimate, then we're going to see the market do some pretty wild things, at least in the near term. And then once that's over, which is early, that's right now. It's 24 hours from now, 23 hours and 57 minutes from now, right? Right as this show begins. So I might actually start the show maybe a little bit early tomorrow. We'll see about it. And then once the market digests this data, then we're probably going to see some volatility. We do have the European version of their FOMC. So the FOMC is the Federal Open Market Committee. That's when Jerome Powell comes out and says what they're going to do with the interest rates. And the European version of that, which is pretty darn important, happens on Thursday morning at 8:15 a.m. EST. And then the PPI comes out right after that. So it's going to be wild 2 days in a row right about now. Going to be pretty big volatility hitting the market. And then maybe within 30 minutes to an hour after that, the market may go ahead and resume whatever direction it was going to go, and we can surf it very nicely, most likely. And Friday is going to be quiet on the news. And the following week, I believe, is going to be the FOMC. We'll see here. Canadian CPI on Tuesday morning. British CPI, which is important, on Wednesday morning, right at the open, right on the Wednesday European Open. Yeah, FOMC on a week after tomorrow. So that's going to be a big day. Going to be a big day. And then after that, we're kind of kicking off basically, we'll say, the end of quarter three. And this is going to set the tone for quarter four. And remember, this in the next day is the Bank of Japan policy rate, which is at this point in time a fairly high anticipated event, right? Highly anticipated event, because, of course, as we know, in early August, we had that big event in the markets due to the Bank of Japan changing their stance on the carry trade. We have covered that as not ad nauseum on this channel. So if you're interested, you can go back to the videos that we haven't had a video in the afternoon in about a month. I haven't been doing them. I've been letting the live streams kind of cover the news, but we did explain that, and we explained it at length on the most recent video about a month ago. That was not a live stream, and that was not a short. We're still putting shorts out there. So the following week is going to be big, and then, like I said, that's pretty much the end of quarter three as we know it. We have a week after that of whatever news, and then quarter four kicks off, election, everything. It's probably going to be a pretty volatile time. We have a pretty notable election, to say the least. So the markets are going to be interesting, like I said, to say the very least. That said, let me go ahead, see. I don't see any comments yet. If anybody has any charts they want to see, go ahead and say it. I'm going to go ahead and start with Bitcoin. I put out a chart last night. Let's see if it's over here. Okay, we didn't take this trade. It never happened. Well, actually, I'm still waiting for the euro to break down below. Look, here's the thing about the current times. Okay, like right before a major announcement like this, I do not expect any follow through. When I see price bounce on any kind of support or anything like that, I do not assume it's going to break that. I do not anticipate breakouts right before major announcements. That usually means that the market does not have any kind of push to break through any type of structure, right? Because everybody's waiting. Nobody's in the market. Everybody's kind of on the sideline. Lisa, good morning. Thanks for coming on. So yeah, that's just something to understand, right? Not a lot going on. Probably not the best time to trade. If I were to trade in this time, it would be some kind of a tight range type trade. But with all the data coming out, I'm probably not going to be trading very much at all, right? So, but with the with the euro versus the dollar, what you saw there was I'm looking for price to break below this prior support, and possibly now that we've seen price do a little more price action, something like this maybe. And there's a little bit more detailed of a trade plan that I discussed in the private live lab yesterday. But this is basically a nice little trade plan that we could, see play out. But again, it's going to probably not happen until after the CPI, the kind of breakout that we need to see down past this prior support level at $1.1026. So let's go back to the Bitcoin. I, again, put out some charts yesterday on this, and let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, looking for my notation seems to be gone. I had price heading up, and it's very slowly doing what I predicted it would do to about 58,000, and then again around like say 59,100. So I have price heading up to those targets right now. Again, with the market being as sluggish as it is, I would be real careful. I'd look for a good pullback on this. One could use some of the price action on the screen to create a trade. I am going to take a look at the liquidity here and see if we can get some clues. So we'll do a Bitcoin analysis right now, and then we'll probably flip over to the private live lab because we only got about a minute left here. And this is the Kingfisher.io. Link is in the description. Great program. It's free for the basic stuff. You can do like I'm doing to get liquidity nodes, basically find out where price is going to go, at least where it's most likely to go on the near term. Now, there's not a lot of liquidity out there, but we do have a spike around 58 and 59,300 now. So we can move our target up just a hair. And it would make sense because this is going to be similar to what I had on the ticket yesterday. I'm going to zoom out to the daily chart. Price is bullish on the algos temporarily. I think it could get slammed down. I think price could easily see a push back down here. Now, this is actually literally on the daily because I'm on a different chart here. It's, a lot of times most of the time I use the 18-hour on this kind of estimation, but for now we're on the daily. And right there at 59.3 is where all that liquidity is on the Kingfisher, and it also happens to be where the volume nodes are. So there's a very high probability the price is going to head up into these areas, right? So let's go back down to a lower time frame and see if we can decipher this just a bit. I would be interested in taking a long, understanding that whatever position I take, if it doesn't pay out by tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. EST, I need to be out of that position or at least have stops ready. Now, the best way to do this probably would be a deeper stop right here, right now. At least the safest way to do it. but I do believe price is going to just inch up the rest of the day. I think that's going to happen. I think a stop below this area is relatively safe. It's, taking profit right here is too soon. There's not enough risk to reward to take profit at this 5,800, but once price crosses that, I probably would take my stop and put it up to entry and just let it run. So, we'll see about it. I don't know how jazzed I am to take a position right now in this. I probably would be looking on the lower time frames to refine my entry and get a better look on that. Because it's not a very easy place to find a good stop right now. The markets are pretty delicate, but then again, not anticipating breakouts, that does give us an opportunity to take some tighter stop moves. So either way, thank you all for joining. I know, again, it's kind of a quiet, boring time in markets right now. So, I'm going to see if I can refine this and find a way to trade this and maybe in the private lab and do that, knowing full well that whatever trade I take on the Bitcoin right now could easily get stopped out. It is what it is. It's a delicate time in the market. So thank you all for watching. Come on over to algofactory.tech. What we do is we help people become traders. We help people learn how to trade from the beginning. I did recently revamp all of our university, like any shows that I didn't complete, or any university videos that I didn't completely redo. I partially, edited and made more concise, and a lot of them I simply redid and added some videos that are made strictly for beginners. And by the way, if you are a beginner at Algo Factory and you have questions, let me know. I will be adding and creating more videos for beginners. Already, we're able to service beginners. Whatever is not in the videos, we could just create a brand new video for you. Not a problem. And we have the Telegram. The Telegram room is open 24/7. If you are with us and you have questions that are not answered by the online university, just ask us in Telegram, and I could even make a custom video for you. Algofactory.tech. Trade your job, upgrade your life. Come on over. We are going to be raising the price. So we're right now at $49.99, and we will be raising that up. I haven't determined what the new price will be, but anybody who gets in before we do hike the price is going to be able to grandfather that price in, right? They're going to be able to keep that price that they originally got in on. So recommendation, if you are going to join Algo Factory, we really recommend that you do. Make sure you do it soon so you can get a chance to keep those rates. All right, much love. And do not forget,
join us or die.